don't realize how important family reunions is. That's right. They say it's a small world. It's true. It's a small world. You never know who king. We might be king. I'm serious. You never know because it's sitting.
If you look at it, we are king.
Oh yeah, that's right. Hey, that's
Adam and Steve.
There you go. Thanks.
So we all are king. God.
That's right.
But now he speaks of the fourth generation.
That's right.
As far as man and wife.
Right. That's right.
So I'm like you. I have a bunch of people out here too. On my mother's side and my dad's side. So I have to watch what I'm doing myself. That's just like the Hawkins that got the Tufay and the other buildings over on the Imperial. They are kinship. I did one Hawkins group. Didn't even know he was a Hawkins. And when I met him, I was in the pen in Delano. And they kept calling it Hawkins, and we both were Hawkins. I'm like, man, what you mean by you a Hawkins? Who your folk? Where you come from? So it's just like you say, it's a small world.
That's right.
You know, I mean, like when we start spreading, hey, it's no telling which way we went.
And what I didn't know, how often should we have family reunions?
Every year.
Somebody say every 10 years.
Well, look, I look at it like this. Okay, if you wait every 10 years to have a family reunion, just think about it. You got grandkids that got grandkids, grandkids that got grandkids, and when it keep on going, you wait 10 years, you done lost out on half of what you already got. So if you have a family reunion every year, and see the way we do it, we have a family reunion like this year was on my daddy's side. Next year is a family reunion on my mother's side. So every other year is a family reunion, it switches sides. So that way, maybe you met some folks this year that you didn't see last year. So a family reunion is good to have every year, but just not, I'm not saying just on one side. Switch it. You have a family reunion on this side this year, next year have it on mother's side, next year on dad's side. But you know one thing, as you were speaking about the KKK and all that, you know, it was plenty of those down there. And I didn't get a chance to hear about it. I seen a lot of it. See? And like, there was one Halloween, this lady, she left from a grocery store. She had her groceries in her hand. And they caught her in between the grocery store and her house. And they killed her. And back then, they didn't like for a black man to go with a white woman. But they liked to go with black women. So we was doing it like they was doing it. So they caught this boy. And they cut his seeds out. Left him on the road. But they claimed they didn't know who did it. All the time they knew who did it. So what we started doing, we knew who was doing it. Even though they was KKK, we knew who they were. So we started plucking them off. One at a time. No, they didn't like it, but what could they do about it? They didn't know it was us. You know what I'm saying? What we did it at night. We did it in the dark. They said, what's happening in the dark, come to the light. So it's in the light now. We done it. You know, it was about 12 of us. We rode about 2 cars deep. And if you did something to anybody in that town where we stayed, anywhere 12, 20 miles radius, we heard about it. We took care of it. And that's just the way it was, you know. In the South, there, white folks like for you to call them sir. You know, hey, like, I ain't with that. You don't call me sir, why should I call you sir? And it make me so mad because, see, my daddy, he was older, and a lot of other older people. I mean, even to the little young ones. They hollered, sir, yes sir. What the heck do you mean? And I'm not going to do it. My dad offered me a one-way ticket out of there before I was 13 years old. I left there when I was 13.
Well, my grandparents taught me to say yes, sir, and yes, ma'am to the elderly blacks.
Well,
That's what
to
you
the
think
elderly
is on.
black,
Right,
true,
you know what I'm saying?
true.
Not to
Now, that, true.
not scratch their
And
heads.
not only that, the elderly black, if they was cooking and you came over, they didn't ask you, did you want to eat? They told you that you was going to eat. And if you didn't eat, they got that butt.
Speak really quick. With that, saying yes sir and yes ma'am and everything, you know, my parents didn't make that a requirement of me. But I have respect for the elderly. It doesn't. I have respect for my elders all the time, and it doesn't mean that I have to say yes sir and yes ma'am because of not growing up in the South and everything like that. I had a teacher, and like I said, I grew up in Germany, and I had a teacher. I'm not going to say his name, but he was gay. I love you. You know who you are. I love you. Because when I share this, and if you see this, you will know that when we were in the library doing a project, you told me that because I didn't do something, I was supposed to say yes sir, no sir to you. And I told you, I don't say yes sir or no sir to my father, whom I love dearly. I love him. And so how in the heck are you going to have me say yes sir or no sir to you? He said, well, you know what? I'm going to have to tell your mother. Go ahead. Beat me to it. Beat me to it. And so, of course, that night I said, Mommy, you know, Mr. So-and-so said that I was disrespecting my family by not saying yes sir to him. But I did not disrespect him. And she said, have I ever told you you have to say yes sir to your mom or to your dad? I said, no. And she said, well, have you been respectful to your parents? I said, I think so. She said, I think so too. So don't even worry about it. So when he came running to my mom to tell her about it, she was like, get over it. You know, because it's about your actions. It's about, you know, you don't have to use that word, yes ma'am, no sir, but I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Having been in the South, I appreciate that, you know, you say yes sir and yes ma'am to the elders and to, you know, older people. I appreciate that. But it really boils down to about your actions, and with that, you know, just bringing that respect on, bringing that respect, because I get tired, and I'm gonna let you talk, but I get tired of getting on the bus. I get tired of hearing young children cursing today when I'm on the bus. I'm talking about 10-year-olds, 10, 18, I get tired of it. And that's a whole nother discussion. And we can talk about that, but I'm gonna let Benny go ahead and talk.
Really, the difference in between being in the South and being in the city is, to me,